Hey everyone, Aaron here. Welcome back to another installment of the Anime Talk. The best show ever, right? You're gonna watch it, right? What do you mean you're not watching it? Why aren't you watching it? You gotta watch this. This is an awesome show. Watch it now. No, don't watch anything else. Watch this show. This show is more important than any other show. I mean, you can watch everything else later, but you can watch this now. Don't you hear all the hype about it? It's so great. You see what I did there? That is what we're going to be talking about today on the third part of my kind of installment on pushing anime toward people. This is the finale of this. I mean, I'm still going to do, of course, the anime talk, but it's the finale of this kind of like three-part unofficial series of one another. In the sense that pushing anime is probably one of the outrageous and grievous sins that I think one could commit to another person. Now, what do I mean by pushing anime? Well, the concept is very simple. It's the concept of you going up to a person that you maybe you're one of your friends or maybe one of your classmates, and you start talking about an anime. We'll take for example, we'll take Death Note, since I can think that's the first thing that came in my head. So you tell your friend, hey, Death Note, you check it out, and he or she will say, no, not really. I'm watching something else instead. You then go, well, Death Note is one of the best shows I've ever seen. Why aren't you watching it? They follow up by saying something else, and you keep going on and on about how they should watch it, how they should sacrifice everything else. Watch that currently. Don't watch anything else. Nothing else exists in the world. Just watch that. That's it. You must watch that. Now, that is probably one of the cruelest things you could do to someone for three reasons I want to say in this video. Number one, it hypes up the video, which is the first thing I talked about, or the last thing I talked about. I can't remember the exact order. But it hypes up a thing for someone that, like I said before, hyping anime is not always a good thing. Sometimes it works in the sense that, yeah, okay, people love it, like I said, but also it also makes people think two great thoughts of it, and then when they actually end up watching it, they're going, well, what's this stuff that I was supposed to be seeing? Where's the greatness that you promised me? Another thing that's really bad about pushing anime is that it tends to turn people off if they're really kind of against peer pressure. Like me personally, I've always been against peer pressure. I've always been the type of guy that, you could tell me to do this or that, and I'll be like, nah, that's okay. I'm okay. Nah, no, thank you, but, it's alright. And that's only because by nature I don't like being pressured into doing something that I don't want to do. So if you think of that in the same concept, I know it might be just anime, and you might think, oh, well, it's not a big deal, it's just anime stuff. It's the same concept, because if you're one of those people that are very hard-headed, or if you're one of those people that are standing their ground for whatever reason, in this case, you're gonna do the same exact thing whether you realize it or not. You might not take it in the sense that you're gonna do it this way, but you end up are gonna do it. You're gonna actually go and actually stop the other person. You might be like, hey, dude, stop, back off. I'm not gonna watch that right now. I'm watching something else. And you know what? In the end of the day, you might not even end up watching that series, it might be a great series, but because that guy or that girl pushed you so far into getting upset or outraged because like non-stop with this anime or with whatever they're talking about in particular, you get pissed off. It's understandable. The final reason I don't push anime on people is because, besides even all those other points, we don't all like the same thing. That's the bottom thing. You could find friends that love, for example, we'll talk about Clannad, because it's also the first thing that popped in my head. I swear to God, sometimes the anime talk should have the subtitles Clannad in every video. Um, Clannad for me is awesome. Clannad for a lot. My friend Habit, who I'll put his link in the channel for mentioning his name. It's awesome. Like, he loves that show too. But the thing is that, okay, we love the show, but we've met other people that go, well, the show's not that great, or they don't think it's that impressive. They think they've seen better. That's because we all have different tastes. Like I said once before in another one of my videos, the human race in general has a lot of different aspects of life. We have the ways we look at the world around us, and the things that we love and the things that we hold dear to us range very differently from one person to another. And that makes that, the same concept to go into the cornice of the sounds, that makes the same concept of, loving a certain anime genre or loving an anime series in that same way, because, you might not like it. You might see One Punch Man and be, what's the big hype on it? It's not that great. You might say that. Equally, you might see it and be like, oh, this is amazing. This is the best thing I've seen in a long time. It happens. It really does happen. There's a lot of Western shows too, like The Walking Dead. I know people love The Walking Dead. I like The Walking Dead. I don't think it's as good as it was in the beginning. I know people get like pissed off at me. They go, oh, how could you not like The Walking Dead? Hey, listen, I still watch every single Walking Dead. All right, it's just that I'm not a huge fan of it like I used to be when I was younger. More so because I think the show just went a different route than I wanted to go with. That's the big difference. Is right there. People have different outlook and opinions. That's what makes us all unique individuals. Now, pushing anime, I think also besides the other three I mentioned, can also be kind of a detrimental fact in the sense that when you get pushed anime towards you, it's a lot of times stuff you also really just don't want to see. I mean, besides all the other stuff I was talking about, if you like that genre, if you don't like it or whatever, there's plenty of times that I knew about a series and I'm like, I just don't want to watch it. I have no means of watching, no reason to. It might not be that I dislike the genre. I might not. You might not just want to watch it. Hasn't anyone realized that yet in this world? That sometimes you just don't want to watch something. It doesn't have to be a reason for it. You don't have to go, oh, it has bad art or it has, lackluster storyline. It doesn't have to be that reason. There's plenty of times that I'll watch something and be like, I don't want to watch it. Plain and simple. There's no, there's no greater meaning behind it. It's not. You don't have to delve into it with a psychologist and go, oh well, this is the reason for it. I just don't, particularly. No, it's just you don't want to watch it. Or you might want to watch it later. You don't have to watch it now. It's not a big freaking deal. It's watch it when you want to watch it, right? Now, since we talked about all the negatives of pushing anime towards one another, is there any positives of pushing anime on people? So sometimes there is some positives. Number one, I would say that a lot of people are very indecisive too. Equally, the reason they don't want to watch something or they will not watch something is not because they refuse to do it or they just have no drive to do it. And sometimes when you give them a little push, like it's the same concept of pushing someone to do something like a chore. Like if you have a kid, you tell them, hey, I want you to clean your room, and they go, I don't know if I want to do it. You tell them a lot of, hey, listen, clean your room. And if they do it or not, that's depending on further, I think, consequence. But what's funny about that though is that you eventually then push that person into doing that chore. The same kind of goes into watching anime. Sometimes someone has to be pushed into watching a series, and when they get that pushed, a little shove, not really, you don't, like I said, don't be shoving it down their throat, but you push it a little bit at them, and they go, oh wow, this is a great show. I'm so glad you told me to watch this. I'm so glad you convinced me. It happens equally. That's, something that I think is typical, actually, more so than anything else, is that you want to sometimes be pushed into watching something because sometimes you need a reason to. Also, I want to say pushing anime sometimes just also shows how much you love a series. It might not really be, I don't want to say a positive in the sense that it's still also a negative, but there's a lot of times that a lot of my friends, and especially the ones that watch a lot of anime, go, oh, have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen that? And I typically tell them I've seen it already, but I've watched a lot of anime. Wow. I'm serious. I just checked my anime list the other day, and it's 513 shows completed, I think, or something like that, maybe a little less, but yeah, it's crazy. But you show your love for a series. Like I've told people to watch Clannad, like, oh yeah, I've seen Clannad, it's a great show, and I'm like, well, I push that on everyone. I always have to ask, did you see that show? And a lot of times you'd be surprised. Some people say no, they haven't watched it. You push them a little bit, they want to watch it. But let's end this video up with, and this kind of 3-part series with this kind of ending concept: hype, pushing anime, and I forgot what the other one was. Wow, it's my series and I forgot what the other one was. That's okay though. It's not a big deal. Those 3 things that I mentioned, this 3-part series, what's funny about them is that, they're not all negative things. I talked about them in the negative context a lot. I've also talked about most of them in the positive context too. But it's just how you do it. How you hype up an anime, how you push an anime out towards one another, what you talk about, in the judging. I think it was art that I was talking about was the 3rd part of this. Yeah. Or the first part, I think. First part, I think it was art. How you do that is really kind of, it's not a big deal all the time. It's just the problem is that most people push anime on you and hype up anime to the point that you just gotta get sick and tired of it. It's like anything else. If we walk away from anime, we talk about, I don't know, like a Western show or a movie or something like that. You don't always want to have that pressure to watch something or have that hype on it because it gives you this kind of context to make this this thought in your head that it's going to be this way. And like I said before, it's not always going to turn out that way. That's why I want you guys, if you're one of these people that I'm talking about these videos, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but stop doing this. Stop pushing anime on people. Stop talking about the art of it. How what it is, what's like. Stop doing that. The problem with it is just that it tends to tick people off. But besides everything else, it just ticks people off. But even more so, it just puts a bad detriment on anime. A lot of times, it makes anime. I want to say separated, because for example, let's talk about really fast, and I want to keep this video up on any longer than it is already. But One Piece. I know everyone loves One Piece. I know that, but the One Piece hype, the One Piece, the concepts of it, have made people into this like split division of people. You have the people that love One Piece, and then you have the people who utterly hate One Piece on one side. And I'll tell you right now, go ask that person that hates One Piece. Go ask them. I guarantee you, this is gonna happen. When they talk about it, this is what they're gonna say. I've talked to maybe 5 or 6 people. And one of these responses always comes up. It might not be the exact reason, but it's going to be one of the responses. They're either going to say that the series was kind of overhyped in their opinion. They're going to say that they don't think the art was that great. They think that it was pushed to them too much to watch it, and they didn't really want to watch it. Or they think it's too long, of course. But I'm telling you, one of the 3 things I mentioned, there's a reason for my madness of this 3-part series, does that. It's the reason why certain anime becomes this like huge greater divide of people loving it or hating it, because of all the hype pressuring and all this concept that you must watch the show. You must watch it. You need to watch it. It's not a good thing all the time, guys and girls. It's not always a good thing. You could tell someone to watch a series. You could tell them, to enjoy a series, but you do not always have to push it on them until they watch it. It's not going to always work in the way you think it's going to work. Anyways, though, rant aside, but even though it's a rant, and toward the end, I want to say, it makes sense. And I'm telling you guys, I'm serious, by the way, with that One Piece thing. Go talk to someone, if you love One Piece, right? Go talk to someone who utterly hates it. Like I said, I've only liked it, so I'm not really in that concept. But go talk to someone who hates the show, and they'll give you one of those options. I'm telling you right now, they'll tell you one of those decisions, one of those reasons is one of the ones I just mentioned. Guarantee it. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of like 3-part series of the anime talk. Next week will be the normal ones, but yeah, this was a lot of fun to do. I think I want to try more of these series. If you have any recommendations for the stuff like you want me to do in multiple parts, feel free to put in the comments below. I'll check them out. Anyways, guys, like the usual, please comment the video, subscribe to my channel. I couldn't think of what I was going to say. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend, because I believe this is going to come out on Saturday. No, this is going to come out Monday. So, have a great week. Later, everyone. Bye-bye.